Next case.
Michelle Momo charged with child neglect.
Michelle Momo, you were charged with child neglect on September 19th, 2009. This is the third time this case has come up for trial.
Your Honor, I'd like the date for this case to be set soonest.
Why? The accused still doesn't have a lawyer to represent her. And both of us know that this case cannot go on without her having legal representation. Michelle, what happened to the state-appointed lawyer we assigned to you?
I don't know. The first time I saw him was the last time I saw him.
You mean the date I appointed the lawyer was the last time you saw him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Goodness. Counsel, what is happening to the state lawyers? This case has been dragging since last year, and every state lawyer I assigned to her simply disappears. What was the state lawyer assigned to her last time? What was his name?
That would be Norbert Ofula, yeah?
Yes, yeah, Norbert. Where the hell is he?
His wife died in September. He's been away.
Brilliant.
He's been away from...
Okay. Now, wasn't another lawyer assigned to her? Why wasn't I informed about this? Why did it have to wait until the date of the hearing for this to come to my attention?
Your Honor?
The wheels of justice in this country are just too slow. And not because the judges are not doing their job, but because the advocates who are supposed to work with the judges are simply doing the exact opposite.
Your Honor, may I?
No, I am disappointed. Now, the defendant has been on trial since last year, and there's a child. There is a child in the midst of all this. And by the time this case goes on trial, I mean, what happens? This child will probably be a teenager.
Your Honor, the state lawyers, we are overwhelmed.
Maybe not the private firms, Your Honor.
Pardon me?
Maybe not the private firms as people think.
Why are you helping me? I have no money, I have nothing. You've already spent 150,000 on me. No one has ever been this kind to me in a long while. Sijui nitakulipa vipi?
Well, for the 150,000 shillings, you have to make sure I get it back. So be sure not to jump trial.
Siwezi hepa, Mr. Kairu.
Just a joke. Joe. Call me Joe.
Okay. You must be a very rich man to come up with 150,000 on the spot.
Yeah, well, I get by. Now, let's talk about you. What's your story?
Unataka kujua nini?
How old are you?
I was in remand when I turned 17 last month.
17? And where's your baby?
Toi wangu. I called her Juliana. Sijui yuko wapi. She's a very beautiful girl.
You got pregnant when you were 16?
Yeah, I was in third form. He was a student at Kenya Boys High School. He denounced me. Alikata everything. He denied ever touching me. He denied ever talking to me. Denied everything. My father found out when I was 5 months pregnant. He chased me away. I had nowhere to go, so I ended up in the slums.
Winnie, my darling. How are you? I'm good. Everyone is okay, if not better. Maxwell's better behaved these days. I was with his principal and he's been attending his classes regularly. His cards seem promising this semester. David is a gem. He's been very helpful to this company, bringing in a client or two occasionally. Of course, he's taken after his father. Oh, so how are you? I really missed you. When are you coming home? Okay, it's been nice talking to you. I'll give a call at night, just before I go to bed. Me too. Something to say?
How is your wife?
Good.
Good. Liz said you wanted to see me.
Oh yes, there's another investors meeting I'd like you to attend.
Sure, when?
This Friday, and this time you're going alone.
How? These are some of your most valued clients. You can't just...
I am sure you're quite capable of handling it alone, and you will.
Are you sure?
Positive? Now get cracking.
Mwako,
Yes?
thank you for having so much faith in me.
It's not a question of faith. It's more about capability.
Michelle Momo is not an adult. She's a child. And she is recognized as such in the statutes of the Republic of Kenya. She's 17 years of age. Accusing a child of child neglect, I mean, forgive me if I'm wrong, it's impossible. It's implausible, Your Honor. How can a teenager fend for a baby? How can a teenager provide shelter and clothing to a baby? How can a school dropout get employment to get the basic necessities of fending for a baby, even for herself? Yes, fine, she did a mistake and abandoned her baby. Yes, she abandoned her responsibilities as a parent. Yes, she did wrong. We are not denying that at all. We are not denying it whatsoever. But the question here is not whether she committed a crime or not. The question here is if she was capable to commit a crime at all. Truth be told, I mean, she would have easily decided to leave her baby in a government postnatal clinic, or even left her baby on the streets, or even dumped the baby in a dustbin, or maybe even left the baby on the streets. But she was not able to do so. She was not able and still cannot afford to fend for an infant at all. She lacks the capacity, the capability, and the competence of being a mother. I mean, just look at her. Just look at this little girl. She cannot be a mother. She cannot be a parent. She's just but a child. And she did not commit any crime. But we did. The state did. And her parents did also. For not being at a time of need, a time of desperation, when she was thrown into an unknown world of parenthood that she had no knowledge about, she knew nothing about.
Okay. The prosecution may call in their first witness.
The prosecution calls in their investigating officer, Rose Yoto.
I swear by the Almighty God
I swear by the Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give in this court
that the evidence I will give in
Did
this
you manage to talk to my parents?
touching the matter.
Yeah, I called and I spoke to your father.
What did he say?
Nothing. He just
The
said
truth,
that
Joe, the truth.
he said you're dead to him.
Yeah, I thought so.
We are trying to locate your mother. But if there's no luck, and we were still looking for her, but your father is becoming difficult to deal with. And I'm sorry.
Don't be. I failed my parents.
None of this is your fault, okay?
No, it's okay. It's my time to face jail time.
Mr. Kairu,
Yes, Your Honor.
do we have your permission to proceed with this examination?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do we have your permission?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. This is your court, and I humbly beg for your pardon, please.
Do not talk during proceedings. You know that better.
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
Officer Yoto, are you familiar with the accused, Michelle Mumo?
Yes, I am. I charged her with child neglect on the 19th of March 2010.
What happened on the day you arrested her?
Yeah, on that day we received a call from NATO and Mother's Government Clinic. The matron on duty told us that there was a young girl who had abandoned her child 2 months prior at the very same clinic and was now back inquiring on the child and claimed that she was the mother.
Was there a child abandoned there 2 months ago?
Yes, there was. On that July, a woman named Damaris Vivo came to our station and reported that a young girl who was sitting next to her at the queue had asked her to look after her child as she went to the washrooms, but she never came back. So when she reported the matter to the nurses on duty, they did not seem to be bothered at all. That's when she decided to bring the matter to the police.
Did you have the neglected child placed under care and custody as you investigated?
Yeah, it was quite late in the evening when Damaris Vivo brought the matter to us. And well, she offered to fend for the little girl as we carried out the investigations.
Did you ever find the mother of baby Juliana?
No, we didn't. We had her name, we had her description, we even had the place where she lived. But when we went to the slum, the neighbors told us that the last time they saw of her was the very same day that she abandoned the little girl at the clinic, that of July. So there being no further leads, we were actually forced to abandon the matter until further information became available.
Under whose care did you place the baby while the investigations were at a standstill?
We allowed Damaris to take care of the child for the time being as we tried to find its mother. We later intended, of course, to place the child at a children's home if our investigations proved futile.
On the 19th of March, the head nurse called the police station.
Yes, and luckily I was on duty that day. So I asked her to describe the young woman in question. She did, and lucky for us, foolish for her, she used her real name, Michelle Momo, and that immediately took me back to the case. So I asked the nurses to stall her, giving me ample time to get to the clinic.
And of course, you found her at the clinic.
Yes, apparently she wanted her baby back. She thought that the woman she was waiting for had her baby.
How did you ascertain that she had committed the crime of neglecting her baby?
She confessed it to everything. She told me that she could no longer take care of her baby and that she thought that baby Juliana would be safer at the clinic under the care of the doctors and the nurses.
Is there a statement to ascertain what you're saying?
Yes, there is.
Your Honor, I'd like to call to your attention a statement signed by the suspect before the police arrived.
I would like to object to the presentation of that statement. My client was coerced into confessing to the crime. She was not even informed about her rights before she was interrogated or even arrested. Further to that, the investigating officer duped her that her child was in police custody. And all she needed to do was just confess and say the truth and sign the so-called confession, and she will be able to see her own baby.
Your Honor, the suspect volunteered information even before the police arrived.
Coercion is a practice of forcing another party into behaving in an involuntary manner, but the use of such things as trickery, threats, and intimidation, and some other form of pressure and force. Now, Officer Rose Yoto here got my client to confess to a crime that she did not even know was a crime. Officer Yoto here got my client to throw away all her rights, even before she knew she had rights.
I'll consider that under deliberation.
Dear.
Hey, Liz.
Hey, Elsie.
Have you managed to get through to Michelle Momo's parents?
No, they seem not interested.
Oh, shucks.
You were hoping to get them to attend the trial?
Yeah, I think they would strengthen the case. The poor girl might have a chance of staying out of jail and at least getting her baby back.
Sorry, I left a voicemail though.
Yeah, I've been doing that too. Thanks.
Okay.
Yes, when did you discover that the defendant, this young lady here, Michelle Momo, was not legally an adult?
I got that from the records of the hospital where she gave birth.
And when you're doing the investigations, did you even bother to find out where the parents are?
She was not cooperative. She could not give us the details of where her parents were.
Oh, so you knew she was a minor? Then why did you place her in remand? Why did you place her in an adult female prison as opposed to a juvenile holding cell? Were you or were you not aware of her age when you arrested her? Relevance. She's a child. She was arrested and detained and charged like an adult.
Michelle. Mommy. Oh, I'm so sorry, dear. I'm so happy to see you have your pain. I'm so sorry, dear. No, it's okay. No, it's not okay, Michelle. I don't know what I can do for you. When your father kicked you out, I didn't do anything. No, it's okay, Mom.
Can I explain what is happening, Mr. Kairu?
I think she's the mother to the defendant.
Where has she been?
I do not know. We've been looking for her.
Did you know about this?
Sorry, I beg your pardon?
Did you know about her mother's plans of making a dramatic entry?
No, absolutely not, Your Honor. I did not know.
Johan, I'm so sorry. This is my long-lost daughter.
Whom you abandoned and kicked out of your house? You're lucky you're not on trial here.
No, I had nothing to do with it. The father kicked her out.
And as a mother, you should have defended and protected her.
There was nothing I could do. There was nothing at all I could do. I'm so sorry, my daughter.
Get yourself together. This court is in session and I expect order. Mr. Kairu, would you like to continue cross-examining?
Yes, Your Honor. Professor Yoto, I asked you earlier if you are aware.
Yes, I remember the question.
Okay, do you care to answer the question then?
I already did. Yes, I was aware that she was below 18 years.
Then why did you treat her like she was...
Because a young woman who decides to have a child should be treated like an adult.
Is that something that they nowadays train in the police academy? You broke the law.
Hello, this is Elsie Kamona again. Please call back. It's about your daughter, Michelle. It's really urgent.
I got it.
What?
Michelle's mother's number.
Oh, great, you're an angel.
Damaris Vivo, on behalf of the state and all the parents in this courtroom, I'd like to thank you.
She disconnected.
Try again.
It's off. Unbelievable. She turned it off.
Your Honor, I'm sorry for the disturbance.
All phones are supposed to be off.
Yes, Your Honor.
Anybody's phone that is still on? Good. If anybody's phone rings, I'll put them in the cells.
We sincerely want to thank you for taking care of Michelle Muno's abandoned baby girl, Juliana. If it wasn't for your good Samaritan attitude, no one in this courtroom would know for sure if baby Juliana would have survived to this day.
It was nothing much. It was the right thing to do.
That's because you are a caring human being.
Again, it was nothing much.
With your meager earnings and simple home, you sacrificed yourself and your family to fend for a child who wasn't yours.
Seriously, can we get on with the questioning, Your Honor? It's already been noted that Damaris Vivo's care of baby Juliana was exemplary.
What she did and is still doing is beyond exemplary.
I would have done the same, given the circumstances. Anyone here would have done that.
Except the accused. Except the accused. Otherwise we wouldn't be here now, would we?
Can we get on with it, please?
Get on with it.
Much obliged, Your Honor. Damaris Vivo, you are a mother of two. Am I right?
Yes, I am. I have two boys. Wa kwanza ako 7 years old, and the second, who is also the last, anaturn 1 next month.
How old are you?
24.
24? You must have been very young when you gave birth to your firstborn son.
Yes, nilikuwa 17.
Did you get support from your parents or the father of your child?
No, not at all. Me ni orphan. I was living with my uncle when I got pregnant. Akaniambia that he was not going to take care of another person's baby, especially after taking care of me. So I had to leave.
To where?
To become a laborer. I went to Kebera, where I used to commute on a daily basis to do casual work. Kama kuosha nguo, kucleania watu houses, kupata tu so au mbili.
You managed to fend for your baby, and yet you were 17 years old?
Yes.
Was it easy?
No, of course not. Not a single day was it easy. Nilikuwa naosha clothes with my baby tied on my back. It was very difficult. Nilikuwa peke yangu, no help. Maisha yalikuwa magumu sana.
Did the thought of abandoning your child ever cross your mind?
Never. Mtoto wangu? Hapana.
And thanks to God, now you have another child in the shop?
Yes, nimeolewa sasa. My husband is the father of the second child.
Good for you. Now, on the 19th of March, you took your child to the National Natal and Mother's Clinic. Is that correct?
Ndio, nilikutana na Michelle. Tulikuwa foleni moja. She was right ahead of me.
How did she seem?
Alikuwa naka scared, anxious, unsure of herself. And I also recognized that she was a very young mother. Jinsi nilivyopata mtoto wangu wa kwanza. So nilianza tu kuongea na yeye kidogo just to reassure her.
What happened later while you were still on the queue?
Michelle aliniambia amebanwa, ataka kwenda choo. Akaniambia nimshikilie mtoto. Nikasema sawa.
Did she come back?
Never, hakurudi ngo. Wakati wangu wa kuingia ulipofika na kwa vile Michelle alikuwa ameacha her baby's vaccination card na mimi, nilidecide kuingia doctor's room with her baby. Wote wakawa vaccinated. Halafu nikatoka and waited for her to come back and get her baby. Hakurudi. So I decided to tell the nurses because I had to go home. Nurses now, they accused me of attempting to dump my baby on them.
And that is why you decided to go to the police station.
Ndio, nikaripotia police.
Why? Why did you volunteer to take care of baby Juliana after she was abandoned in your arms?
My conscience didn't allow me to leave mtoto wa 3 months in a police station. So I asked ka naeza tumtakia care till her parents ama relatives wapatikane. Na kutoka siku hiyo niko naye tumekuwa familia.
And how do you feel now that Juliana's mother and coincidentally the grandmother have been found?
Objection, Your Honor. The feelings of the witness are not important here right now.
I think they are. Your Honor, this witness has walked the same path, wore the same shoes as the accused, yet she did not abandon her child in the hands of a total stranger.
But we're here to examine facts, not emotions.
And I'm happy beyond words that, Michelle, you want your baby back. Juliana is a beautiful child. She's a blessing.
She's...
Yeah, Tuni special sana. She's adorable.
Thank you.
You deserve a second chance, Michelle. You do.
Thank you.
Nothing further.
Mr. Kairu, would you like to cross-examine her?
No, Your Honor.
You may be seated.
Now, in what form were you in when you found out that you were pregnant?
I was in Form 3 third term. It was during my December holidays.
Did you tell the father of the baby?
Yes, nilimshow. Alikatai, called me a prostitute and accused me of sleeping around.
What happened when you told your parents?
It was horrible. Buddha alinchapa sana. Alikuwa ataka kuniua. When my mom came to protect me, she was also beaten and locked in her room. The next morning, Buddha aliniambia ni park na niende. Called me a prostitute and accused me of sleeping around and said I was a disappointment to him and the whole family. He gave me 5 minutes to pack. I managed to pack a few clothes and some shoes, then I ran out of the compound.
And where did you go?
I met a maid kwa barabara akanipeleka kwake. She lives in Mathare. I stayed with her for like 3 months. After jobs, I used to work as a cleaner. I used to wash clothes. After some time, I got my own shack. Then it became too heavy to work, so no one could employ me.
What happened when you gave birth?
I had complications. I was sick. I couldn't provide enough milk for the baby. It was horrible. Plus, I didn't have anyone to look for my baby as I worked as a cleaner. I remember that day at the clinic, I saw Damaris and her baby. The baby looked so healthy and well-fed and cared for. Nilijua siwezi patia Juliana that kind of life, so I decided to leave her there with her. I left her with a total stranger, but I did it for her, not for me. It was very painful.
What did you do next?
I got a job at a local bar. I used to clean the toilets during the night. During the day, I worked as a maid. Made some little money.
You worked night and day?
Yes, I wanted to save so that one day I can give a good life to my baby.
No, you were saving for baby Juliana?
Yes.
Right. So how much money did you manage to save?
I saved 17,000, but after that I quit and I went back to the clinic where I left her. The nurses told me to wait there. They knew someone who knew where I would find Juliana, but haikuwa hivyo.
And that's when the police came?
Yes. The lady police told me to tell her everything, then later she'll let me see my baby. After giving her the story, she told me to sign the report. If not, I will not see my baby.
Did they make you aware of what you were signing?
No, she just told me to sign, then I'll get to see my baby again.
Did they even tell you your rights? Did they inform you about them?
No. They told me if I don't sign, I will never see my baby forever.
Michelle, what about now? What will happen if Juliana is given back to you?
My baby means the world to me. I'll do everything. I'll give her anything and protect her.
Amen to that. That's all, Your Honor.
You say you abandoned your baby because you wanted the best in her life?
Yes.
How much of a good life can 17,000 give baby Juliana?
The best I can afford.
17,000? Don't you think she's better off with a good Samaritan who took care of her when you abandoned her?
She deserves to be with her mother.
The mother who forsook her because she didn't have money.
I did it because...
Your child was cold and hungry, I know. How much money can you make as a maid? Can you afford to take care of a baby, let alone yourself?
Objection, Your Honor. There are tons of house helps in this country, and they manage to raise their kids regardless of how much money they are making. I mean, that question is purely prejudicial and outright obnoxious.
In the light of the circumstance, no, it isn't. Those mothers do not dispose of their children when things get thick. They tough it out. They tough it out despite the odds, which the accused here failed to demonstrate.
Sustained. Mr. Kairu, may I know what's going on?
Your Honor, may I approach the bench?
Yes, you may.
By coming forward and committing the upkeep of baby Juliana, you actually saved your daughter from a lot of pain.
But Mommy, what will Dad say about this? I don't want to get you into any trouble.
No. The day I let that man beat you and kick you out of home, that was my darkest day.
What if we were to find out about this? He'll both have us killed.
You don't have to worry yourself about that. We will move out, get our own home. Then, while I take care of Juliana, you can go back to school, finish your KCSE, go to college, then get a job. Only then will you be able to take care of yourself and baby. As for now, you and Juliana will be my babies.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now, will you forgive me for not being strong enough for you?
Thank you. Thank you.
Does that mean you've forgiven me?
Of course.
Well, the birth certificate clearly states that you are Juliana's mother. So these documents will pass the guardianship straight to your mother, so the state cannot take her and put her into foster care or give her back to Damaris Vivo, even though she's the one who's been taking care of her.
Okay.
What about the charge of child neglect?
Well, we're hoping the charges will be dropped, or that she will be committed to 3 months in prison, which she already served while in remand.
We're also hoping that the judge will consider the police statement that you made as a coerced one, and hopefully you'll walk away free.
A possibility.
Yes, Justice Nyata is very passionate and opinionated about childcare, and she's known to make very harsh rulings when it comes to anything that pertains to violation of children's rights. At this point, we really can't tell how it will go. But like our boss, Mr. Mwako, likes saying, it could go either way.
The judge will consider this the agreement. But bear in mind, there are many teenage mothers in this country who have not abandoned their children, like you did.
Now, what will happen to baby Juliana if I go to jail?
Well, baby Juliana will be put into the care of your mother.
I'm dreaming it to happen.
No, we don't know. We don't know.
Oh, have mercy on us, Lord.
Does the state agree to place baby Juliana under the care of the grandmother pending the decision by the court?
Yes, we do, Your Honor. The child deserves to be with their family, no doubt. But we oppose the dropping of charges on Michelle Mumo and ask for the highest penalty. Your Honor, the rate of child abandonment and neglect is on the rise, and we would hate for this message of leniency to be conveyed in this court.
My Lord, I do request that the court considers the age of the defendant. She should not be charged as an adult. She is a child. More importantly, she has been through a horrendous experience. She did really well. She did brilliant. She gave birth to a healthy baby, and she did all she could do in her strength to fend for her.
Until the day she dumped her.
She did it out of love for her infant, and she's willing to make amends.
Okay, quiet. Michelle Momo, it says here that you're going back to school.
Yeah, I want to pursue a degree so that I can give Juliana a good life.
And that your mother is taking responsibility of paying for your expenses.
Gladly, Your Honor.
Your Honor, there's a signed affidavit to that effect.
It is your fault that Michelle got herself into this mess that has in turn affected the life of an innocent baby girl. What were you thinking when you let the father kick her out of the house and you did not bother at all to find out what had happened to her? What did you expect her to do with the pregnancy? I mean, did you just think about that?
The thought tormented me every day.
No, it did not torment you. Because if it did, you would have hit the streets, the slums, and all the households in town every single day until you found your daughter. I don't hold her accountable for child neglect. No. I hold you accountable for the same. You are her mother. You failed her. And you, young woman, weren't you educated on the consequences of sex, and that if you got into it without precaution? I mean, sex education is part of the school curricula, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And besides, there's HIV. You ought to be more careful. I hereby sentence you to 6 hours a week of community service in a children's home for 3 months.
Thank you.
And please, take note. The reason why I am sentencing you to community service is just so that you can go back to school and complete your school after the end of the sentence.
Thank you.
And please, this is a second chance. So please, make good of it.
I will, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
This court is adjourned.